So you're moving to Idaho? You might have to get used to seeing these. There's a lot of guns in Idaho, and we love our guns. See, to some, this looks like an assault rifle, but this is an incredible gun. That's something I have been able to teach my children at 7, 8, and 9 years old how to properly hold handguns, guns, and fire them. I'm more proud of my 9-year-old son and more safe around him than 99% of the world out there. So this is Idaho lifestyle. I'm going to be talking about all the things that make Idaho exactly what it is. And it's just the way we were raised. I was raised this way. My kids will be raised this way. And when you see it, it's not going to be pressed on you. We just love the way we are and we don't want to be changed. So in this video, it is raw about the weather, about the jobs, the economy, about all the people coming in, and yes, how red and conservative this state is. So if you want to learn everything about the state of Idaho, we're getting after it right now. What's up, everybody? This is Jackson Wilkie with the Living in Boise, Idaho channel. We also have a Living in North Idaho channel. We've partnered up. But if you want to know everything that there is about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and what it's like to live in Idaho, make sure you tap the subscribe button and click the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. We honestly get so many phone calls, emails, texts from people moving and relocating here. We absolutely love it. So thinking about moving North Idaho, South Idaho, yes, Boise or Coeur d'Alene area, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to Idaho. All right, so I'm going to run down the list and just be brutally honest with people. A lot of these reasons is obviously why people are moving here, but it's also the reason that people get completely caught off guard. Just like when I will be hunting up in National Forest, a little bit closer to town, but still National Forest in November. And when people who are unaware of that stray too far, and then they come and they harass hunters. Yes, that is a thing in Idaho. You can actually harass hunters. And if you call the cops and say that people are pointing guns, you're going to come out, or the cops or the fishing game will come up and you will get ticketed. You will get in trouble for that. So there's a lot that we need to unpack and unbox about Idaho. But what we're going to be doing is going through an entire list, just everything that I've seen. I can show you the birth certificate. It says from Idaho. It's all I know. So number one, it's as red as this shirt. It is very conservative. As you saw, maybe about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago now, when Antifa was talking about doing all the riots, and actually in Portland, Oregon was doing it. They threatened coming to Idaho. They didn't stand a chance. The entire residents, in fact, half of them were my hunting buddies, lined the streets of downtown Coeur d'Alene right on Sherman, and they made sure that didn't happen. But the red conservative is also something that it's a lifestyle around here, right? Avid outdoors, hardworking. That's just what we are born and raised. And so with an influx of people, which is not new, let's just, and I know a lot of the locals and I talk to people, but this is something that's been going on for decades. And especially in the early 2000s, 2002, we were ranked the hottest economic growing city in the nation, both north and south. So this state has been going like this for a while. Being red conservative is just a belief. You can believe whatever you want. It's the pressing. It's the trying to change. That's what we see with the hundreds of comments. That's what we see with everything that goes on. It looks like the presidential campaign debate down below, because nobody wants to be forced into anything or change. So that's one thing you need to know with the red conservative and the way that Idaho is and will be, is that nobody just wants to be pressed, right? And so when you come, be open-minded to other people's beliefs, then you'll have no problem at all. And that goes right into my story. If you move to Idaho, the first thing that you need to do, well, you might have to change the plates. You want to get maps, national map. If you're going to be going out and doing hiking, biking, there are designated trails. You can go up and do some of the most extreme stuff, but just understand that come hunting season, which is what we live for, you do realize that we do not. If one of our friends decides to have his wedding in September, we ain't showing up, because that is archery for elk. And with that being said, we do not go to weddings, and we also are in the woods. All of us, September, October, November, those are the hot months, even into late December with the archery and muzzleloaders. So you will see us in the woods. And if you are out very far into the woods and don't understand where you're at, yes, you're going to see a lot of people packing guns on the four-wheelers, on their backs, We know how to use them. We're not shooting anybody. We're just out there hunting. Hunting is it's the ultimate rite of passage for Idahoans. And in fact, if you want to impress Idahoans or at least get them talking, ask them how their hunt went. Ask them if they've ever shot an elk, because trust me, you get us talking about that, you better get a case of natty and get ready, because the stories are coming. But that's just the one thing you need to understand is we truly love our guns, we love our country, we love our flag, and we love the state of Idaho. With that, number two, people are moving here because of the outdoor activities. You have to be aware of a lot of the animals that you see. The ones that actually can do anything or scare you. Obviously, all of them can, but I've been confronted by tons of black bear. I've been out fly fishing, and you'll have 3 of them cross the river right by you. They usually don't mess with you. In fact, black bears, all the ones that I've seen, they're usually running away from you. So not too scared of them unless you get in between that sow and her cubs. That actually happened to me once. They treed. It was the scariest thing that ever happened, but I backed up. So nothing really happened there, but it's the moose, the cow moose. I've actually had elk hunts completely ruined where we're dropping in a couple thousand feet and that cow moose sees us. She's got a calf. Boom, she is chasing you. It's very scary. It happens. Do not sit there with cow moose and take pictures and think they're cute. They're huge. They're massive. The bulls, which is another point I want to get into with the animals, is that there used to be so prevalent. So the other thing that really drives people crazy in Idaho and is a very sensitive subject and probably one not to bring up is the wolves. So the wolves are something that they incorporated in the Lolo National Pass National Forest right there, Idaho, Montana, and it was a pack of Canadian timber wolves. Now this is getting very political, but this is what you're gonna hear. And again, we don't like things changed and pressed on us. Sometimes us Idahoans feel like we're backed into a corner. So now these wolves were introduced, a pack. They're everywhere. So the problem is we love the outdoors and the hunting, but yet when stuff gets taken away from us or ruined, that's when we see the attack. That's when we feel backed into a corner. And so we used to see bull moose all over. I'd go up elk hunting and I used to get so annoyed because I'd see 10, 12, 13 bull moose in the road and they don't get off the road. They are like electricity. They take the path of least resistance. And so they will run on a road for over a mile. And, you'd see them all the time and you couldn't get by them. So it would really slow you up. You don't see them as much anymore. And, there's theories on everything. But if you talk locally, again, if you get the point with Idahoans and their beliefs, just don't try and press your beliefs on them. But the wolves are something that, people fear and they're scary. We haven't, at least in my circle, heard of any attacks on humans. The thing that they do is they really devastate the elk and the deer populations and, of course, the moose. And I'm talking from the strongest bulls down to the cows and calves and the sick. But the other thing is your animals, livestock, they're tearing, they can really do some damage on those. Treeing bears, treeing cougars, treeing lions is something that's popular in Idaho. And so sometimes the dogs are getting roughed up too. Again, if you can't handle these kind of things, this is what you need to get used to in Idaho. But it's not every day. It's not like they're roaming the town. But this is why when Idaho is proud of who they are, this is the stuff we're talking about. And so with a lot of the numbers decreasing in the herds and then the numbers increasing of the people who are coming here and hunting, that's what's causing a lot of the frustrations. And so with this so far, I'm really dying to know, comment down below, is this something you can handle? Is this stuff you had no idea? What do you make of, some of the things that I've talked about? And also what I will be talking about, continuing on in this video. So I'm curious to know, go ahead and comment down below what your thoughts are. Number 3 on the list is we don't truly have any like national disasters. And I mean like the hurricanes, the tornadoes, you're not going to see any of that. But one thing that happens every summer is we're going to see fires. And we don't actually get the fires down in South Idaho as much. You see them a lot more, North Idaho closer to Canada. Both areas can get it, but the smoke, I don't care where you're at in the Northwest, you're going to see smoke in the summer. Sometimes it gets so bad, they say to stay indoors. And so smoke in Idaho pulls from, Washington, Oregon, especially California, and even Canada. Canada is over 90% national forest. There's a lot of fires that happen, and people don't think that Idaho or any of these areas get hot in the summer, but Ironman weekend just a couple weeks ago in North Idaho up in Coeur d'Alene was 116. Down in Boise, Idaho, this week, middle of August, supposed to be over 100 degrees for a week straight. So it gets super hot, dry, and there are lots of fires. So you will see quite a bit of smoke. The worst that our weather typically gets is going to be ice storms. Ice storms can be brutal. I was a journeyman lineman for almost a decade, and up in the north, that's what typically gets us. And it's a lot that has to do with a ton of snowfall that comes down. The weather actually warms up, and this is actually when we see a lot of roofs cave in, when we get a ton of snow, and then the temperature rises above 32, so get 34, 36. And in the winter, even when it snows like that, when that bluebird sun comes out, it can get a little bit hot and toasty. So it'll melt a lot. And what it does is make that snow so super heavy, and then it freezes at night. You get a little bit of wind, and that is the ultimate combination for a lot of trees coming down, a lot of poles coming down. So work tons of those. And so with the weather, you have to understand it can get pretty extreme. And it's not just that it snows. Like, yes, we get used to the snow, but it's the effects that it can have on you. So sometimes, like, the mental psyche of going through, here's what happens exactly. I'll just paint the picture. Last year, September, started snowing, and I'm not talking a skiff. This is like 10 inches, right? It went away, and then you see 60s, 70s again. I've archery hunted in September in 90-degree weather, and I've been in snow. So not typical. Usually it's the November, December when snow hits. And it's pretty magical. There's plenty of times I've been, doing a little bit of this is definitely in North Idaho where the snow hits. South in Boise doesn't get as much snow. I think, honestly, the wind and the cold down in Boise can be worse, but the snow can be just gnarly, especially up north, and it can hit November, December, and it's magical to start, right? During the holidays, when that first snowfall hits, it's almost like springtime on that first 60-degree day when you finally hit 60, and everybody's outside and the windows are down and everybody's just out moving around. Well, with the snow in the holidays, everybody's out sledding and just enjoying it. The parents are drinking cocktails. You got bonfires going on, and it's really magical during the time. And having that white Christmas and stuff. But as soon as those holidays are done, January hits, you're like, oh my gosh. So the one advantage to Boise is it has, over 300 days a year of sun. It's not going to see as much snow, but man, the wind can really whip down there, especially southeast Idaho, the Pocatellos, it is brutal sometimes with the wind. So obviously, comparing to the Dakotas and stuff, I've done a lot of hunting over there. That's just crazy cold, but you're going to get long drawn out winters that can just pound until, May. Sometimes I've seen snow in June, even 4th of July up in the tip tops of the mountains, you'll see it. So it can just drag on. And in the middle of the winter, December, January, February, that's where you'll get a couple of those weeks where it can dip into the negatives. And it's just cold. Like, I don't care who you are, how much you bundle up, having to go out every day and start the car. If you got a diesel pickup, you got to plug that thing in. A lot of the new ones you don't, but a lot of us got older ones, and you got to plug those in, or else you got to get a block heater, and it's actually the same thing, but make sure that you can start the damn thing in the morning. So the longevity, and then South Idaho being at a different time zone. This is one thing people don't understand, that Boise is actually an hour ahead, and that helps with the night, because in North Idaho, you're on Pacific time. So at like 3:30, the kids are just getting out of school. It gets dark. You got to think, only 30 miles away is the Montana border, and that is where the time changes there. So they get an added advantage, where we're at the same time zone as Seattle and Portland, over there on the coast, but 6 hours away. So it gets dark really quick. Boise has a definite advantage of that, not having near as much snow and having that extra hour right there of light. So one of the next things about Idaho is the economy, right? So to paint the truest picture, back in, the crash of, 06, 7, 8, whenever that started, it really, really hits hard in Idaho because there's not really any corporate structure. So as these cities are growing, there's tech companies coming, there's, an Amazon hitting in Boise, close to Boise. And it's just, that's going to bring some more jobs. But before that, it's all based around the service industry and the construction. So, when things are good, everybody's out building homes and the service industries are good. But when that economy crashes, we saw devastation in Idaho. I mean, there was really no work, no jobs. And in fact, just about everybody I knew, we had to go out. A lot of them went to North Dakota and worked the oil fields. I went to Texas and went and did line work. It really decimated the town. And so you have to realize a lot of you are coming obviously, to work from home. Like, you can work from home and you enjoy the Idaho lifestyle and its affordability to you. For us, it's crazy expensive. but that's something that you can, with last a little bit better. But if you're coming to Idaho to get a job and try and live that life, just know, when these turns hit, it can really hit Idaho a little bit harder than some of the other areas. Another major thing that gets brought up is a lot of you are coming with family, with kiddos, and the educational systems. If you look them up online, it's not that good. It's something that we don't know anything better. You just grow up in Idaho and you go to school. The thing about the schools in Idaho is you're never going to have to worry about, like, is that the safe school? Is that the safe school? Is that the better school? They're all, like, I have no problem in Boise, Idaho, or in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, any of those areas, putting my kids in any of the schools, because they're all just about the same personnel. It's just different locations of where you live. Some are ranked, nationally. Down in, here in Boise in the Eagle area, that is one of the top, schools in the nation. But all the schools are, right there on par. So you're going to find some a little bit better, but at the actual rankings of them, that's where you're going to see them a little bit lower. And if you're coming from states where the educational systems are top notch, you may see quite a dip in that. But I can tell you right now, this is the one thing I'm noticing with all the influx of people. These educational systems, these high schools, these middle schools are really starting to get revamped. I know all the teachers, that's the one thing about kind of the Idaho is once people get in as teachers, they just kind of stay there, which is maybe true everywhere, but it's very localized here. So you do see a lot of, hey, I went to high school with that kid. Now they're teachers and they stay there. Maybe, that has something to do with it, but I do understand that they have some incredible growth happening. Just like the Coeur d'Alene High School I went to, and some of the high schools I see now, we help, the families in Boise, Idaho. They are getting major facelift. They're getting $1 million renovations. They have 2-3 gyms. They got workout facilities. Yes, that's like we didn't even have basic workout facilities when I was in high school. This is in early 2000. And, they have nice fields. So they're really starting to expand, which they have to. I mean, there's not a lot of room. The one thing about Idaho schools is they're starting to get packed. That's more of an issue than anything. So you're starting to see those teacher to student ratios really increase, but the facilities are so much nicer. I tell the story, and I'm not even that old, 37, but growing up, I started in South Idaho, especially the Pocatello areas. There's not much there. They ended up getting one new high school over there. Went to North Idaho, my elementary in Hayden. It's an old building. It's still sitting there on Hayden Ave, and that's where we went to school. My first grade class, people don't believe it. Oh, you're too young for that. We sat on the floor Indian style with those little beanbag things that you put on your knees and it has a flat board. That's what we sat in for the first few months of school. So now they've got really nice schools compared to what we went to. And if any of you originals out there know the Dalton Elementary there in North Idaho, oh my gosh, it was a barn. Let me repeat that. It was a barn. And I have a lot of buddies who went there, and all the class, everything was up above and the lunchroom was down below. And so when you were eating lunch, stuff's falling from the ceiling. It was just not even a safe environment. Dalton Elementary up in North Idaho is probably one of the most sought after elementaries, and definitely the most sought after environment or city or suburb of North Idaho, with the acreage and having those amazing schools and just minutes from Coeur d'Alene High School. So educationally, we, aren't ranked as high. So if that's a super high priority, it may be a deterrent for you, but just know a lot of the money, since you guys are all coming, is getting poured back into these schools, which is really cool to see. There's a lot more that goes on in Idaho, from allergies to, the small things in life of not having all the concert venues and big things. If you're in North Idaho, you have to drive over to Spokane, Washington to get on an airplane. It's just small town living, but the overall point of a lot of this is just don't come in trying to change what people, believe in, and they'll be totally cool with you being there. But this is what we love doing. From north to south Idaho, we've got you covered. We have teams in both areas. We got to understand lifestyles, locations, what you need, what you like. Don't move to the wrong side of Idaho. You can literally move on a north-facing slope and you don't get sun all day and you're socked in on snow. Yes, these are things that we know you don't. You have to understand these things. You reach out to us. You tell us exactly your lifestyle, things you need, what you need to be close to. We know 2-3 areas you've never even heard of here in Idaho that will totally fit your lifestyle. But the only way we can help is you got to reach out. You got to shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back. We're moving to both North and South Idaho. And until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later.